What's up, everybody? I don't know what's so hard about just making a regular introduction on YouTube.
Hello, beautiful human beings.
Hi.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJ. Hey, guys.
Hi. Yo, what is up, guys?
Hi, guys.
How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to episode 14 of Benny on the Beat. Had a breakfast shake this morning. I got seeds. I feel like I got... Okay. Just edit that out. So, very first item of business, let's talk about the status of the Impala. I think we're going to keep that a regular thing right now since you guys have some running bets, it looks like, going on in the comments on whether or not it will be working on any given week. Can we get a drum roll, please? The status this week of the 2012 FuzzFam Chevy Impala is... That's right, guys. It's up. It is working. It's running. I'm in it. I'm not in a spare car. However, the check engine light has been on for several days.
No, it was too good to be true.
So let's get into it. A few comments from you guys on last week's video. Officer Mike's, if you could pick your next patrol car, what make and model would you choose? Ooh, anything. Anything. I could pick anything, huh? Probably pick a 2013 Chevy Impala.
Are you mocking me?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just a joke. They are cars that come with plagues and curses of biblical proportion. Anybody that has to drive one of them, my sympathies. Every now and then, though, I know a few of you guys comment, I've got an Impala and it works just fine. Lies. Lies, that's all I'm gonna say. So, in answer to your question, Officer Mike's, I think I've got to go with the Lamborghini Huracan Performante. Just stick a light bar on that bad boy. It's the best I can do. Perfecto, perfecto. Joshua Evans Gray, keep the unmarked. That way, when you damage it, people just think it's an accident-prone civilian. Well, thank you, Joshua, very much. I can't be too harsh because I backed our brand new 2018 Explorer with ALPR into a snowbank and dented the bumper. I mean, what kind of an idiot would back a car into... light pole. People are gonna bring up the light pole. Josh, sorry for you crashing your brand new car with automatic license plate recognition, I believe is what the ALPR, if anyone didn't know, is. That's highly unfortunate. Valianless Gaming, your videos are so fun to watch. It helps me get through every day. Much love from Switzerland. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you very much for that comment. A DV253, Ben, FuzzFam, congratulations on getting a video sponsored by someone or something not made up. Hopefully future videos will get sponsored by the auto repair shops. Yeah, so apparently at this point, the Impala curse found its way to my studio microphone, and it stopped working. So I'm gonna have to use the audio from the camera just for the next few Q&As, and then it'll be back to normal when we get to the rest of the video. I'm sorry, it's the Impala's fault.
I beg your pardon.
Oh! Burn! Okay, I liked your comment at first, DV. Now I'm gonna burn it to the ground. Ryan G, does your department have a DUI enforcement section? Because my uncle works for a sheriff's office and only works DUI enforcement for them to keep up the good work. So Ryan, my department does not actually have its own DUI enforcement squad per se, but we do have a motors unit, and their job is to go out there and enforce traffic laws, and as part of that, do DUI enforcement. So they are there kind of primarily to do those things, and that's our DUI enforcement, but it's not like a dedicated DUI squad, if that makes sense, but there are departments that have those. Lucian Video EEV. Is it allowed to run a red light to let an emergency vehicle pass into an intersection? The basic answer for that, Lucian, is no. You can never run a red light. And to try to get out of the way of an emergency vehicle behind you, it's not gonna be a safe thing to do anyway, because I'm telling you, you guys don't move out of the way as it is. I say you guys, you know, general public. And people going through intersections, they don't stop for us when we're coming to the intersection with the lights and siren going. So I definitely don't recommend you try to go through that intersection when we haven't even made it there yet, because you're gonna get hit by somebody. So yeah, don't do that. Gamer Original, why wouldn't you go in a specialty in your department like K9, SWAT, or Detective? Or you just like being a normal patrol officer? Yes, Gamer Original. I like being a normie. I like being one of those lesser normies. There's nothing wrong with patrol. A lot of people choose to just stay in patrol their whole career. It's where the action is at. You know, it's comparable to infantry in the military. You're on the streets interacting with the public, and that's where the fun is at. So I've enjoyed being in patrol, but you've got a good point. There's a lot of other fun stuff to go do in specialty units, and I've talked about this on the channel before. I am interested in doing some of those things, and I have actually submitted applications of interest for some of those. So if I end up getting picked up to do one of those, I'll let you guys know. Castile Boo. Question, if a cop was on a call and running lights and sirens, then goes through an intersection and gets hit because his lights malfunction, it's gotta be an Impala. That would only happen in a 2012 Chevy Impala. Whose fault is it? I've seen it happen, and his lights were blinking on and off after he got out of his car. You could tell there was a short or something, but everyone was okay. 4 cars involved, 2 at the light, cop, and the 1 turning. Yeah, that could easily, you know, be the department's fault, Castile, if that was proven that there was a malfunction with their equipment. I don't think it would be the officer's fault. It's probably not going to be his fault that his equipment sucks. But heaven forbid, if there were injuries on something like that, the department could be open to liability. Makes you think a department should invest money into getting nicer, newer, more reliable equipment. Right, guys? FuzzFam gets called to the chief's office as soon as he gets back to work. You guys are trying to get me in trouble. Aloha, FuzzFam. Well, aloha to you. Quick question. Does your department require you to carry your tools off duty? Here in Hawaii, our department calls it readily available, meaning at all times you carry your service weapon, badge, and handcuffs, also requiring you to respond or act in the event of a crime in your presence, even if off duty. No, we're not required to carry anything off duty. We're encouraged to have our service weapon with us. It's just a good idea anyway. But it is not required. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. We're encouraged to, for the most part, be a good witness. Now, if we're armed and there is somebody's life in jeopardy and that's happening right in front of us, I can tell you right now, most cops are going to intercede. They're going to act. They're going to do something about that, especially if they can help save somebody's life. But it's not something the department requires. And more often than not, like I said, we're encouraged to just be a good witness, keep out of it, and just call, you know, the actual on-duty officers to come handle that, if that makes sense. Steven Smith, hey Ben, what breaks more, your patrol car or your old Black Hawk? Oh my, okay. So some of you guys know I was in the Army and I went in to be a helicopter pilot. I ended up getting accepted to flight school, and I was going to be a pilot. That's another story for another time. I didn't get to finish my training. I was recalled back to my state. The Army kind of screwed me on that. But, you know, given the curse that I seem to be under, you almost wonder what would have happened if I was a helicopter pilot. Oh, I'm sure you guys would just have a heyday in the comments on that, and all kinds of things you want to say right now. I swear on my life. Matt, now I know being an LEO that every cop has their pet peeves as far as traffic violations. That's true. What are your pet peeves that you will pull someone over for and write a citation for? That's a good one, Matt. Yeah, every cop probably does. You know, when I got into the job, I had a list of things that I said, as soon as I get out there, I'm gonna pull over every jackwagon that does this, or this, or this. I had my list of things that I was excited to be able to go out and actually do something about. The list has changed over my career, but I can tell you right now, one of the things that just drives me the most insane is on the freeway, driving slow in the far left lane, the fast lane or the passing lane, depending on the state that you're in. People get in that lane and just park themselves. They're going like 10 under the speed limit, or, you know, even the speed limit if everybody's going a little bit faster. It doesn't matter. You can't sit in that lane. Oh, look what you're doing to me, Matt. Getting my blood pressure up and my heart palpitations. Yeah, that drives me crazy, but I don't actually take the time to pull them over. I'm usually headed to or from work, and I'm not gonna take the time to stop. What I do is just get behind them and ride them for just a second, try to get their attention. Like, look, people are behind you, move. And if they still don't move, I flip on my lights, scare the crap out of them. They think they're getting pulled over, and they move over, and I follow behind them a couple lanes and get them off to the side, and I come back into the fast lane and go on down the road. I've seen people literally around me clapping and thumbs up, and because everybody hates people that do that, and they like to see us move them out of the way. So that's kind of the one that comes to mind. The first call I want to tell you guys about is a little bit creepy. If you follow us on Instagram or Twitter, you probably already know about this because I shared a picture on this one and talked about it a little bit. The call was dispatched to me as a suspicious circumstance. Dispatch told me that some people doing construction on a house found something in the wall they believed to be a hidden video camera. And I guess the home was being renovated to be turned into an apartment complex or something like that. But when they tore out the walls all the way down to the studs, they found something in the wall that was between a bathroom and a bedroom, and it was pointed towards the bathroom, specifically on eye level directly towards the shower that was in the bathroom. As I got down and looked closer at it, I'll show you a picture. This is what it was. Not very difficult to tell that this was a hidden video camera. So we took it out of the wall. I looked it up on the internet. Sure enough, it's a wide angle, color, covert, hidden video camera. So anybody that was recording video from it would have had a wide angle view of the entire bathroom, and again, specifically the shower that it was pointed right at. Now, if this is in a house, that's creepy in and of itself. You start asking, what'd you have? Like a brother or a weird uncle or parent that was spying on their own kids? That's disturbing. But possibly even more disturbing is the fact that this used to be an Airbnb or a hostel type house. You had people all over the country coming and staying here, just like a hotel. Like, what is wrong with people? Are you kidding me? So I ended up taking the camera as potential evidence. I went out and did some research on my computer on that address to see if I could find like who owned the home, and it was tough. There were a lot of calls there, but I couldn't nail down just from my research who actually owned the home. And you know what's gonna be tough about that, obviously, is if we did get a hold of somebody that used to own the home, you know that they're not gonna claim ownership to that room if it was theirs. They're gonna say, you know what, we had so many people staying here, I've got no idea. It's not going to be something that's going to be easy to investigate, prove, or probably prosecute somebody. But I still did my due diligence. I did a detailed report. I took the camera, I booked it into evidence, sent it up to detectives. I don't know what, if anything, will come of it, but if I find out there's an update, I'll try to let you guys know in a future video if I can. Then, this one's kind of good. This makes me laugh. So I got called on an assist to the fire department. This was at one of our city parks, and this was a gal that had tried to light a fire on the sidewalk. So because someone was lighting a fire, they sent the fire department first, and then after they got there and started talking to her, they called and asked for a police officer to come. I guess she was having some mental health issues. In reality, they were way over their heads, and they called in the professionals. We're used to it, that happens. No, but it gets better, it gets better. So I get there and walk over, and of course, as I pull into the park, I see them in the middle of the park, and this is a big park, so I had to walk all the way through the park to get there. I wasn't super happy about that. I like to be able to pull up and just get out on something. I don't like to have to walk. So I walked and I walked and I walked and I eventually got there. But the funny thing was, I was starting to make a rapport with her and was trying to get her name. She didn't want to give anybody her name, and I was talking with her about that. And the firefighter that had been talking to her came over and kind of got semi-aggressive, maybe for a firefighter with her, and just said, look, the officer's being really nice with you. He's trying to explain why you need to give us your name, and things so far have been really nice, but they're not gonna be so nice if you don't cooperate and give the officer your name. And she shut him down right away. She said, like, I'm having a conversation with this officer, it's going very well, and you come over and start yapping your mouth again?
Oh, snap.
Yeah, she did not like him coming over and interjecting himself, and so he, to his credit, he took it with a grain of salt. He backed off and said, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead and talk to the officer. So we resumed our conversation. I was able to get her to give me her name. I just talked to her very nicely. We got the information we needed and ended up actually just letting her walk home, sending her on her way. There was no reason to believe that she was a danger to herself or other people. She had just been looking for the barbecue pits at the park, got upset, couldn't find them. That's where she was trying to start a fire, and so she did it on the sidewalk. It was not smart, but she figured it out, said she wouldn't do it again. But to be fair, talking people into something that they don't want to do is probably more something that the police do than the firefighters. Usually they don't have to mess with that. Either way, I had to take a little bit of joy in the fact that she shut him down and didn't like the firefighters in that instance as much as she was liking the police. We have to take the victories where we can get them. Usually it's the other way around. Oh, okay, and then I had a call. This one was just yesterday. This was somebody that had their phone stolen from the grocery store. She puts her phone down for something, leaves the store, realizes immediately, oh crap, I left my phone in there. She goes back into the store, phone is gone. Like in a matter of minutes, somebody's picked it up. She checked with lost and found, customer service, nobody turned it in. So she's freaking out, she's lost her phone. Then she remembers she has her laptop in her car and her Find My iPhone features turned on. So she can go out, get on her laptop and check the GPS as to where the phone is. So she does, and she sees it in an apartment complex that's several blocks away. That's when she calls us. Now we get these calls all the time, and as you guys probably can see, the problem is those GPS coordinates are not always accurate. Sometimes they're fairly accurate, but sometimes they're saying that it's on a building or a house here, and it's actually like 3 houses away. It can go up to 60 or 100 meters off from what it's saying it's at. So usually when we have these calls, people show us and go, look, it's right here. Why can't you go in and search the house? Well, there's this thing called the Constitution that protects your home from being invaded by government agents and illegally searched. Not something we can just bust in and do. That doesn't give us probable cause to do that. Now, if we do something like the owner starts pinging the phone and sends that signal that makes that annoying sonar noise, and you're standing there at the door and you hear that going off, now that starts to ripen into something that we can use to get the phone back. But doesn't usually happen that way, and people are usually out of luck. So we went over to the apartment and it was showing in the corner of this apartment building. So it could have been one of two apartments because it was a two-level like quadplex or something. I knocked on both doors of the corner where it was showing it was at, and nobody was home. They didn't answer. But there was a couple at the other apartment at the other end of the building that had come out of their home looking like they were getting ready to walk somewhere. And I was talking to the victim about how she probably wasn't going to get her phone back. And the guy that was a few feet away that had come out of this apartment overheard us. He was eavesdropping. And he said, did you say a phone? Are you missing a phone? We told him that we were. And he said that the lady friend that he was with had found a phone at the grocery store and had brought it home. And she was inside the apartment at that time. So he got her out and she returned the phone to him. Now, was she acting out of the goodness of her heart in bringing the phone home, and did she intend to return it or turn it over to the police? What is a common sense, ordinary, honest person going to do? Probably going to turn it into customer service, or you're going to pay attention to that message that's on the phone, which she had sent saying, if lost, please call this number. In my opinion, she was intending to keep the phone, but this is the way we handle those things. All we care about, my biggest priority is not trying to prosecute somebody for theft, or grill them or interview them to get them to admit that they did something illegal. My biggest priority, and that of the victim, of course, is to just get the phone back. They don't care about like anything being done to the person. They just want their phone back. And I understand that. I understand that because I've lost my phone before. I didn't accuse this gal of anything. I didn't Mirandize her. I didn't interrogate her and try to get her to admit to doing something illegal or wrong. I said something along the lines of, you guys must have just been getting ready to call us and turn it back in. We're so grateful that somebody honest found it and now she can get her phone back. Give them the warm fuzzies, right? Make them feel good, even though they probably were going to steal it and that wasn't their intention, but give them an opportunity to take that easy out and not have to deal with being interviewed by the police, right? So in the end, victim gets her phone back. That's what we wanted to begin with. And I don't have to do a report. Oh, this call, yeah. So the next one, this was a citizen assist. This was a report of a lady that was sitting in the parking lot of our police station that just needed to speak with an officer. And our dispatcher had put in some notes that she was refusing to tell them what it was about. Like she wouldn't give them any information into what it was regards to. And she had been waiting there forever. I mean, we're busy enough in our city that they have to prioritize calls. And something that is designated a lower priority may wait for hours, like a long time for an officer to be available to come talk to him. And I could see some updates in the call notes that she had called back complaining why an officer wasn't there yet and she was getting frustrated and it wasn't worth her time and she was just going to leave, but she was still staying there. She was moving to different parking lots around the police station. So eventually things slowed down enough that they were able to assign me the call and I went to go see what it was all about. And this gal had a parking ticket. She had a parking ticket that all she really wanted to do was dispute. She didn't think she was supposed to get the parking ticket. The problem was, at least in the city that I work, parking is a completely separate jurisdiction. It's a completely separate agency. We have a parking authority. They go out and give parking tickets. They handle the meters, stuff like that. Nothing to do with the police department. Like absolutely nothing to do with it. So I explained that to her and you could just see her like, oh, it's not even you guys. I didn't have to wait here for 5 hours. And I tried to politely tell her, well, it looks like from the information on the call, you wouldn't tell our dispatcher anything about that. If you had, they could have told you that and you wouldn't have had to wait. She also didn't know how to get back to the freeway. So I told her exactly where to go, which exit out of the police department parking lot to take to get to the freeway. And as she drove away, she turned the complete opposite direction that would end up getting her lost. I'm hoping she made it home safely that night. I don't know. I was feeling bad for her, but she just wasn't listening. I don't know what was going on there. Oh yeah, this one made me laugh a little bit. I didn't actually make it up to this call in person because they canceled. The problem, I guess, resolved itself, but I had to make note of it because I was laughing. So a limo driver was on his way to a call or a fair to pick somebody up or something. I don't know where he was headed, and called us after he stopped at a light or a stop sign or something like that, and a homeless person opened the door to the limo in the back and came in and just sat down and made himself at home. Why, is this champagne here? I don't mind if I do, my good man. Driver, to the tennis club. I guess he got out and tried to tell the guy, what are you doing? Get out of the limo. Guy didn't want to get out. He was very, very comfortable. I don't know how he got him out. Maybe he convinced him. Maybe he just capitulated and drove him to wherever he wanted to go. They drove up to the 7-Eleven and this guy got out in style. I don't know. Had to chuckle a little bit at that one though. And with that, that is all the time that we have for this video. I've got to finish editing and get ready for my shift today. I've got to get out the door. So we'll see you guys on the next one. Everybody have a fantastic week.
Let's level up. Pedal to the metal when I play the cut.